I wanted to really quickly show you the completely compact setup that I'm running with right here, because that's pretty insane. Just right there, super casual and comfortable. And the rest of this video is going to give you some insights into all the different options we have with this camera. And it's pretty incredible. So drop that guy right back in the pod and let's get to it. This one's for all the run vloggers out there. We have stabilization turned off. We're in the mega field of view 4K 60. I'm on the mini 2-in-1 tripod 2.0. Whew, that's a mouthful. We're gonna run you through some stuff that I think will be useful. I'm trying to hold this as steady as possible, but as we go through the stabilization, you're gonna see how much it makes a difference. And the voice isolation is currently on the strong wind noise reduction. We'll pop you through that as well. Here we go. So it is a pretty windy day today, and I do have a little dead cat on the camera, but all the audio is coming from the camera, so it should be useful. And first mile was 7:17, so that's good. We now have low stabilization turned on, and it should be helping a little bit, but I definitely think we're gonna want the high for this one, so we'll see. One of the benefits of the standard stabilization is you get the horizon leveling, that 10% rock. So if the camera's going back or forth while you're out there running, filming and all that, you don't have to worry about that level. Everything else stayed the same for this. We're gonna get to the high stabilization, and then we're gonna start to change some of the other settings so you can see how that impacts the whole running experience. But overall, I think this camera might be great for marathoners. Having the remote down there in the handle makes this whole thing really easy, and we are now on high stabilization. So this should be pretty stable footage, but we are in low light, which is gonna maybe give us some jitters, especially at 4K 60. That could be a little more difficult, but I wanted to show you 4K 60 just because I feel like it's the best option for the running. You could do 4K 30, but low light like this is gonna really struggle. Now we're gonna switch the field of views just to give you a taste of how that would impact with the high stabilization turned on. The ultra field of view isn't quite as wide as the mega. I think it does seem to like pinch in different areas. So the mega seems to pinch in all the way, like continuously, whereas the ultra, I believe, like pinches in these little sides, but kind of keeps you a little more natural. You have to decide for yourself on that one. This is the action field of view, and one thing to note is that there is kind of like camera drift when you move this quickly. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely there at times because the sensor is trying to compensate for any movement. So you want to try and keep the camera as still as possible, but I mean, look at us. We're doing good, camera's doing great. Mini Tripod 2.0 really does a good job, especially because that extension, and it's easy to collapse and then hold and run with, so that's nice. The linear field of view is my personal favorite. I just feel like it looks the most natural, and you're definitely more than wide enough, especially with the mini tripod, to get it far enough out. It's not a big deal. And it's really easy to carry this and run. I'm gonna go through the different audio options so you can hear that on this run. There is definitely wind, like I said earlier, but the dead cat should help. And I think you're gonna wanna choose between the strong wind reduction and the voice enhancement. I have found that I really like the voice enhancement. That's personal, so we'll see that. And let me show you what it would look like if I didn't have the tripod. This is roughly what we would be. Actually, if I had my hand at the exact same place, that's what we would be. So you're gonna have to move your arm up and hold it here, or like reach your arm way out. The nice thing about the mini tripod is you can keep your arm in a very comfortable place while obviously running and filming. So that's super nice. So here's what I mean by the mini tripod. You see this guy right here. Try and hold this out far enough for you to be able to see it. This thing is giving me nice range. And when it's collapsed, it's fine, it's easy to run with, but when it's extended, you really have a great view of everything. So go ahead and drop that guy back in there. Second mile was a 7:25, so that's pretty solid. All right, let's go through some wind noise. This is weak wind noise reduction, and the sun is just coming up to give you an idea of the light we're dealing with. Sunrise just happened like 20 minutes ago, so definitely low light. I got the plane going on overhead, so you're probably getting that audio, and it is something to consider. I again would recommend the strong wind noise reduction or the voice enhancement, which we're gonna do right now. So I really prefer the voice enhancement option for this whole experience. I feel like with the dead cat on, the voice enhancement just does a nice job of focusing in on what I'm saying, and the audio is really good, just like at this distance from me, which I really like. The original audio is something I basically never use, because it's just like exactly what you would be hearing if you were here. I'm gonna show you that right now, but I just don't think it's good for most situations. So this is original audio, and I am heavily backlit, low light for the face. I do have facial priority turned on for exposure, and now the sun is just peeking up behind me. So So that's great. But again, especially with the wind, if there is any, even with the dead cat on there, original audio is going to be probably the worst choice. I'd have to say it would be the worst choice. So let's go ahead and switch back to the voice enhancement option, because I personally think that one's the best, unless you have an extra windy day, and then definitely strong wind. Up until this point, we have been in the standard profile, but I just switched this over to the glow profile, so you could see that image difference. I'm gonna run you through all the image profiles really quickly, so you can see what this camera can do if you wanna just do things in camera. Personally, I like the selfie and kind of like the NC ones. The Vivid one's nice, but might be a little too strong for some people. So this is the selfie profile, and I feel like it does a great job for just casual vlogs. You got some nice warm tones. Again, I am in low light at 4K 60 with high stabilization turned on, so you might see some jitters in the shadows. That's to be expected, especially pushing the camera this way. If it was sunny and I was getting blasted, no problem at all. We'd be just fine. So this is that selfie profile. Let's go ahead and give you, I think the Vivid is the next one. So they recommend the Vivid profile for like cinematic shots. You'll notice how it just corrected for my face because I have facial priority turned on and it found my face again. But you could see like the grass, the trees, the sky is so much bluer, my hat. I mean, it's very vivid, and I actually kind of like that punchy look sometimes. So you just got to decide what you want. But I really hope that this video actually turned out well, because I mean, I'm just holding and running. And got a nice sunrise coming though. NC film is supposed to replicate vintage negative film and focused on high contrast. So you can see that difference here. I have a car coming behind me, so I have to switch that up a little bit. But I'm really liking the selfie stick with the remote. The remote just makes it easy to start and stop everything that you're doing as far as filming goes. This car's gonna rip past me here. And again, I like this look. This is a very unique look. So you have to decide if that's the one for you, but we're gonna hop over to NC2. The big difference for NC2 is that it is modern negative film as opposed to vintage negative film. Everything else is basically the same. So you might find that you just kind of like one of those colors better, and that's gonna be more personal than anything else. But if you're trying to create your own style and focus on it, then that might be something worth considering. Or if you're just using it for a specific video where you wanna kind of have that little bit of a vintage look, which actually brings me to the next two filters, which are kind of fun as well. So I just switched the audio to strong wind noise reduction, and we are now in CC, which is for vivid positive film colors. Nothing vintage about it, but let me know what you think of the look. Again, these are just gonna be stylized choices for a specific kind of video you wanna make, or if you just want it to represent you as a whole as you make content, maybe there's something there for that as well. But I really like the simplicity of this camera. You know, you fold that little thing down and you're good to go. Super easy to just hit the road and clock in some miles. CC2 is meant for vivid, positive colors, optimized for night scenes. So like right now, I'm in a little bit of a lower light, so it should be doing a better job here, but we do have that sunrise coming up, and that might be impacting things. I obviously had to switch my my hand-holding technique over to this side. We're about to make a turn that'll put the sun coming right at us, and we'll finish the video with that. But the strong wind noise reduction should be doing a good job, and I think overall, as a simple setup, this is pretty solid. Let's fold this guy down and rip through with mile 4. We are back in NC film, and I have the sun just completely blasting me. And I am 5 days away from doing 5 miles every day for 7 months. I have not missed a single day. Today's run is super chill. Just as long as we stay under 8 minutes, we'll be more than happy. One thing to note about filming with the Ultra is you gotta give yourself like a 1 to 2 second pause before you start talking, because the camera will start recording, but the audio isn't there yet. I've noticed this after using it for a while. So you wanna make sure you're not just like hitting that record button and then going straight into talking, but you'll get used to that pretty quickly and then you'll be good to go. So always let it go like 2 seconds before you start talking and you should be fine. It captures the video, it's just not getting that audio. You could always solve this with like the, what's the word? There's like a record option that's like pre-recording, there you go. And that solves that. Oh. I don't know what mile 4 was, we just passed it, but let's finish this thing up in selfie mode. I went ahead and dropped us back into the mega field of view. We are in selfie mode as far as colors go. Should be popping really nicely. And again, the Ultra with the mini tripod 2-in-1 2.0 plus the remote gives you a really nice all-in-one setup for filming. You could pop the camera out to get those unique running shots when you're passing anything metallic. You could just drop the camera on there and get those run-bys. You've got the tripod, so you can easily just set it up for a talking shot if you get to a location where you want to like talk about something or whatever, you know? It just makes it really easy, and it's super small. So I think that if you're a vlogger, a run vlogger, or just like a normal vlogger, this one setup is solid. Now, one thing worth considering is, what about that X5? You're not that far away from it. Look at this. I'm getting absolutely destroyed by the sunlight right now, so I'll be curious to see how the camera handled that. The X5 is probably my personal favorite camera, just because like if I was to do this run, but have it in like the AI stitching mode where it like does it for you, but Insta360 mode, it does a really good job of that. And there's like hardly any editing in post, but you are locked into 1080p 30 frames per second at the end of that, unless you want to do like exports after where you can get the 5.7K. I think the 4K 60 out of this is going to be solid. We'll see at the end. And with the high stabilization turned on, the audio that you're getting out of this right now, without even the mic, just the camera, pretty incredible. So I love all the features of this thing, and I feel like it might be a perfect fit for someone who's trying to get into vlogging, trying to get into running activities, whatever, and you want to have that creative freedom to move the camera around, not worry about it. You could just take the camera if you wanted to, and it's waterproof, so now you're really solid. Just let that remote go and use your voice activation to do it, or just press the button, you'd be fine. Good, we're hitting some shade really quickly here, so that should be good. Give you guys a better look at like how it handles a little bit less intensity. But overall, really great camera, really great setup, and definitely something I'd recommend. Let me know if you have any questions. We're gonna finish this mile up. It should be, what are we at right now? Yeah, we'll finish like a 7:27 mile, so that's solid. If you love running, drop a comment about it, because I do. And remember, you're either gonna sink or swim, so no cars behind me. Let's rise with the tide, and I'll see you on the flip side.